Hi, Lee Garden here. Just thought I'd share a scenario and a case I came across this week. We'd recently completed a mortgage for a client, and it was a pretty sizable mortgage, and the mortgage payments were around about £2,000 a month. And we were having discussions over ensuring that in the event of an extended period of sickness or illness, that the mortgage payments would be able to be continued to be made. The client was pretty adamant that the provisions their employer made would be enough to cover them, and they were pretty confident that these provisions would cover them for quite a long period of time. Because of the size of the mortgage payments, I did recommend that the client get a copy of their contract of employment or their benefit statements, and for us to just check it out. As it transpires, the level of benefit that the employer would provide wasn't as generous as the client imagined. It was only 20 days, so it was statutory sick pay plus an additional top-up of 20 days from the employer. This was nowhere near the level that the client believed that the employer would provide. So what we did was we looked at what was available. The good news is the client was in a position with what the employer would provisionally provide, and also with some savings that they had, they could afford to have a deferment period of 6 months. So they felt that they could continue to service the mortgage and their commitments for at least 6 months before it would be a problem. The good news from an income protection point of view, that does have an impact on premium, and obviously if you can have a slightly longer deferred period, it does have the effect of reducing the premium. So the good news is we've managed to put something in place for the client that dovetails perfectly with his situation, in other words the employer provision and his savings, and he's got absolute peace of mind that should something happen to him where he was off for an extended period of time, the home that he's worked so hard to get himself into is going to be completely protected, because those mortgage payments would still be able to be made all the way up to the end of the mortgage term if he was off for at that sort of long period of time. So the message there is, take a look at your contracts of employment. You may have an employer that offers generous benefits, but especially in the current climate where a lot of companies are going through troubled times, it is worth just checking those benefits. This particular client had basically said that although that was the benefits that were stated, employers historically have basically paid for certain people for a longer period of time, discretionary. However, a lot of companies are struggling at the moment, so what is the likelihood of these companies paying these benefits beyond their sort of stated time? I think it's a lot slimmer, and why leave it to chance? If you can put something in place that's going to ensure that your property is completely protected in the event that you suffer a sickness or accident, why wouldn't you do that? So, as always, look after yourself, look after your money, because money matters.